Feel the weight of the purple pain, purple pain, purple pain. A tribute to Prince. Anyway, the Minnesota Twins actually started out not in Minnesota, but in Washington as part of the Washington Senators from 1901 to 1960 in the American League. The Senators were very hard luck. Their name resonated with first in war, first in peace, last in the American League, which was true some parts. But there was a bright point. In 1924, an old aging Walter Johnson led the Washington Senators to the 1924 title against the New York Giants. Thanks to a blunder by a few Giants, the Washington Senators ended up winning the final game of that series. In 1925, they came back to the World Series, but unfortunately, in a game that normally wouldn't be played under conditions such as it was a gloomy day, and Walter Johnson kept pitching throughout the game and gave up 9 runs. He should have been taken out after like 5 or 6 runs, and Washington probably would have won back-to-back titles. Unfortunately for the Washington Senators, they didn't win another title before moving to Minneapolis in 1960. True to form, Minneapolis actually was ready to get the New York Giants in 1957. However, Walter O'Malley convinced Giants Horace Snowman to move to San Francisco so that they could have a California rivalry, and Major League teams could actually go to California and play games. Well, National League teams at first, and they have a week there instead of having to fly there and back. But anyway, the Minnesota Twins were built in 1961. There was a new Washington team added, I guess, for the grace of Washington giving up on one franchise and getting the other. Big mistake. Excuse me. These Twins were actually great. Well, of course, the Twins were named for the Twin Cities of St. Paul and Minneapolis. The former Senators, now Minnesota Twins, didn't take too long. In 1965, they won the AL, shocking everyone, especially the Yankees, who seem to go to the World Series every freaking year. The Yankees were just downtrodden. 1966 would be a low point in their aspects. But the Twins actually had good pitching and a surprise MVP by the name of Solio Forsaio. And yes, Harmon Killebrew was a bastard with the boomstick, with Bob Allison, if you will. The 1965 Twins, unfortunately, lost to the LA Dodgers in the final game of the World Series in Game 7 on home turf. If you think about it, the Twins in 1965, 1987, and 1991 all had home field advantage, and they all went 7 games, and they all had 4 games, and each one had 4 home games. So the Twins in Minnesota are a shocking 11-1. Can you believe it? And the funny thing is, the Twins never won a World Series game outside of Minnesota. They went winless in LA in 65, winless against Atlanta in 91, and winless in St. Louis in 1987. That's the funny part. But anyway, the Minnesota Twins had been building their team, and were actually one of the favorites to win the newly created AL West in 1969 because expansion made it so that they decided to put 4 divisions instead of 2. So basically, if you win the East, you play the West for a trip to the World Series in both leagues. And the Twins unfortunately fell flat to the Baltimore Orioles, who were just that damn dominant. But karma bit the Orioles in the ass when when the Mets beat the Orioles in 5 games. The Mets actually won 100 games that year. That's hard to believe. But anyway, the Twins just hated that. I know this is the team I'm doing for the what ifs. I couldn't think of anyone else. Obviously, the 65 Twins would be ineligible because they went to the finals. Minnesota was not really that big after 1971. They took a while to regroup and be good in 87-91, led by hometown hero Kent Herbeck, the power of Gary Gaetti, Chuck Knobloch, Kirby Puckett, Chili Davis, and a few others. The Twins of 87-91, won those World Series at home. Let's not forget Frank Viola and Jack Morris, respectively, pitching great gems. The Twins would not get back to the highs of highs after 91, unfortunately. In the 2000s, they made a few runs, including 2002 when they looked like they were going to beat the Anaheim Angels and go to the World Series as winners of the AL. But unfortunately, the Angels got them Minnesota nearly got contracted in 2002. It was them and Montreal that were ready to get booted out of the league, so that would be back to 28 teams. However, Minnesota kicked up a fuss and added on to the fact that they were doing some playoff runs of their own. They couldn't contract one team because that would make sense. Montreal then moved on to Washington. How ironic is that? But anyway, the Twins of the 2010s, not so bad. I mean, the 2019 team, as of this recording, this is recorded in September 2019. They've hit the most home runs in Major League history by one team. And the funny thing is, the majority of them are on the road, not at their stadium, which is kind of a homer happy park. So anyway, the 1969 Twins are my what if, because they were part of the first LCS experiment. Now, I could have done the 69 Braves for that matter too, but there was another Braves team that needed my attention, the 93 team that shockingly lost to the Phillies. So, Minnesota wins the ALCS by some grace of God, and now we'll take on the New York Mets. The Twins will have home field advantage for games 1, 2, 6, and 7 because the American League had home field advantage in 69. So the Twins are hoping to win games and not lose a game on their own turf against the 69 Mets. The 69 Mets will have the same starting rotation as they did in the World Series. The Twins obviously have to make up on the spot. So anyway, let's get crazy. Here we go. It's the Mets, it's the Twins. The Mets surprisingly won more games than the Twins, 100-97, but the Twins have home field advantage. Tom Seaver started game 1 legitimately in the World Series. He'll face Jim Perry, who the Twins needed to make things happen. And a few things get cleared up, especially the fact that the Twins are almost unbeatable at home, and they proved their work, 12-6. The Mets actually scored 3 runs in the first. Tommy Agee gets a 2 RBI double to score Harrelson and Cleon Jones, and Ed Kranepool gets an RBI single to make it 3-0. Tony Oliva takes a bases loaded walk to score Tovar, 3-1, until the bottom of the third when Rich Reese, I don't think he was much of a home run threat, hit a 2-run homer to left field, and Tony Oliva with an RBI, with a home run in his own. Rich Reese in the bottom of the fourth hits a GRD, ground rule double to score Killebrew. And then Ted Uhlaender, I guess the catcher, hit a 3-run home run down the right field line. Can you believe it? Ted Uhlaender? At 8-3, the Mets come back in the fifth. Cleon Jones with 2 RBI singles scored Ryan and Boswell, while Ed Kranepool gets in sac fly to score Buddy Harrelson, 8-6. But then Leo Cardones, 2-run shot down the line, 10-6. Ted Uhlaender gets a 2 RBI double to score Reese and Cardenas in the bottom of the 8th, 12-6. And that's what happened. 2 RBIs by Cleon, Agee, and Kranepool. Seaver only goes 3 2/3. Nolan Ryan goes an inning and 2/3. Ron Taylor, Canadian, goes an inning and 2/3. Tuck McGraw actually pitched. Why, I don't know. The Twins, Uhlaender, was the right fielder. Johnny Roseboro was the catcher. Johnny Roseboro? Wasn't he the same catcher who did that thing? Get involved in that incident? Oh, no, sorry. Well, this is 1965. This is the 69 team. Uhlander's a right fielder. Rich Reese with 3 RBIs. Uhlaender with 5. Sorry, Cardenas and Oliva. Jim Perry goes 5 innings, and Bob Miller, Al Worthington, Joe Grosenda. Yeah, I completely forgot that this is the 69 team. Well, the Twins want to keep going, so they get the Jim Cat. And again, the Twins win on home turf, proving that they always win in World Series games at home. 8-6 this time. Even though Jerry Kuzman got an RBI single in the second inning, Ted Uhlaender does it again. He beat the throw to avoid a double play, which would have ended the inning. Rich Reese scored to make it 1-1, and then the Jim Cat, RBI single to score Uhlaender. Tony Oliva with an RBI single to score Killebrew. Leo Cardones grounds out, but they can't get the double play to score. That scores Rich Reese, and then Uhlaender flies out. At 4-1, it goes to the 7th. Tommy Agee grounds in a double play. They let Bud Harrelson score 4-2. And the Twins, I guess, made the Mets pay for the fact, they might give up. Rich Reese, RBI single to score Crew. Leo Cardones, 2 RBI single. Ted Uhlaender hits in another fielder's choice to score a run. It's 8-2. Looks like the Twins are going to win this thing. However, Ken Boswell hits a grand slam. Kranepool walked. Wayne Garrett got hit by pitch. And Jerry Grody took a walk. Shamsky becomes the pinch hitter. He pops up to third, and then Ken Boswell hits a grand slam. Ken Boswell played for the '69 Mets. I don't remember him. The Mets actually have runners on first and second, but unfortunately can't take advantage. Cranepool, Garrett, and Grody all get out. Boswell's second baseman. It's gotta be someone else. I think Ed Cranepool. Hey, where's Bud Harrelson? Oh, shortstop. Ken Boswell for Clendenden is not in this thing, but anyway, Boswell 4 RBIs. Kuzman with 1. Jerry Kuzman 7 innings of pure second. Ron Taylor with an inning. The Twins. Cardenas with 3 RBIs. Urlander with 2. Nice job. Jim Cat with 7 1/3 innings. Ron Baranowski came in for a relief role and got a save. Great. So at 2-0, the Mets are desperate. They go with Gary Gentry against Dean Chance. The Mets say they're going to go with a 3-man rotation. Twins say, let's agree to that. And the Twins beat the Mets 5-3. Yikes. Harmon Killebrew. There you go. That's his name. 2-run home run to make it 2-0. Cleon Jones with an RBI single to score Boswell. And then in the top of the 4th, Johnny Roseborough with an RBI single to score Rich Reese. Jerry Grody grounds out to score a run. That means the boat up 3-2. Bob Allison with an RBI sac fly for Ullander. Jerry Grody gets an RBI double for Wayne Garrett, 4-3. Thinking, oh yeah, the Mets might do it at home. Then Ullander, God, this guy. Fly ball solo shot to left center and make it 5-3, and then that's it. The Twins stop him dead. I want to find out about this Ted Ullander guy. It says here he wasn't much of a home run threat. He only hit 8 home runs for the '69 Twins. He played for Minnesota for 4 years, and then 2 years with Cleveland, 1 year with Cincy, the '72 team. Okay, but anyway, Killebrew and Ullander with home runs. 2 RBIs for Killebrew, Ullander, Roseborough, Allison. I know I'm probably pronouncing that Ullander guy wrong. Dean Chance, 5 innings of work. Bob Miller, Al Worthington, Joe Gracenda, and then Ron Baranowski with a save. The Mets thought they could do the Shea Stadium magic. No, Gary Gentry lost. Taylor, McGraw, Coombs. So now, Jim Perry to close it out against Tom Seaver. Is this a sweep? Not yet. Mets win 9-2. There you go. Tommy Agee gets an RBI single. Ed Cranepool with an RBI single, make it 2-0. I know the Mets thought, okay, we can throw someone else and put Jim Perry for game 5 if we need him. But no. Wayne Garrett makes a ground ball error on Tovar's ball. Ullander scores. Kenny Boswell RBI single, make it 3-1. And it stayed that way till the bottom of the 7th when Tommy Agee gets a single to score Bud Harrelson. Leo Cardones makes a blooper error. Wayne Garrett hits into fielder's choice score Tommy Agee and makes it 6-1. The Twins look like they're not going to sweep. Ed Cranepool puts a cherry on the Sunday with a 3-run home run. Ted Ullander gets another RBI. Man, this guy keeps getting RBIs. Jim Perry, 7 innings of nothing. Kreider and Woodson. The Mets, 4 RBIs from Cranepool, 1 by Garrett, 2 by Agee, 1 by Boswell. Tom Seaver goes all the way, 119 pitches. Like he wanted to. Now you got game 5, Kuzman against Cat. And this time, the Twins finish the job. Excellente. They win 8-3, knocking down the Mets. First run was Tony Oliva's fielder's choice to score Killebrew. Ed Cranepool in the bottom of the 4th tied it up. But Rod Carew, remember him? He hits a 3-run home run to right field. Not much known for his home run power, Rod Carew was. 4-1 is your score. And it would stay that way to the bottom of the 6th when Tommy Agee and Ron Sabota go back-to-back home runs. And thinking, well, the Mets are going to definitely come back from the dead and force a game 6. They did nothing in the bottom of the 7th, which cost them dearly. Ron Reddick grounded out. They tried to go home, but Oliva scored. Cesar Tovar hit a sac fly. Tommy Agee was trying to get Ullander. Nope. Rod Carew to RBI single. Double. Rod Carew. And then, unfortunately, Ed Cranepool grounded into a double play. I don't think Rod Carew really had a year that he had a lot of home runs. If I look at the stats, his best home run total was 14 back in 77 and 75. Yeah, he was not known for his home run power. Got 5 RBIs. Oliva, Rennick, and Cesar Tovar. The other ones, Cat went 6 innings, and Miller, Worthington, Gracenda. So yeah, the Twins shocked the Mets. I guess playing home games at Metropolitan Stadium in the World Series actually does work. Kuzman goes 7 2/3. Ron Taylor comes through, but in the end, it's got to be the Twins. A nasty, nasty, nasty way to end. And the '69 Twins would have knocked the '69 Miracle Mets off the map. It's just that simple.